Hi guys, and welcome to Rathwulven Bushcraft. I'm out here today with Yannick from Foxscout Survival.
Hi guys.
And we're out to do a little survival training experiment here. We're going on a 72-hour tour out here in the wonderful Bergisches Land in Germany. And yeah, what are we going to do today?
Yeah, we will just roam around and we'll try to live only from nature. So we will identify plants to eat. We will search if we can find and identify some insects we can eat to get some proteins. So we will only live from that what we will find. We have nothing which is any kind of food with us. We have nothing of water with us. It's everything we will just find here outdoors.
So basically what we do carry in our backpacks is mainly the camera gear and stuff to go bivouac with. So sleeping bag, poncho, a bit of cordage, and yeah, of course a tripod, because we will film everything on our own. And the entire idea is to spend those 3 days outdoors and see how far we can push ourselves. If we can find water sources, if we can find enough nutrients, enough calories out here. And believe me, it's going to be quite a challenge. And we try to keep this real. We don't do any kind of weird Bear Grylls stuff or so. We're not pulling off any kind of show.
We will not drink our own pee.
No, unfortunately not. So if you're watching for our pee, better
No
switch to, I don't know, Discovery Channel or so. No, but seriously, the point is, I will approach this entire thing from a bushcraft type of perspective, using only resources that I can find in the wild, so in proper nature. I don't know how about you. You will go more from the survival kind of angle towards this challenge, right?
Yeah, I will do it a bit of survival, and it's a tactical approach, like like a military situation. You're in an area which is an area of enemies, so you just go through gardens, take what you can get, and yeah, this is why I will also pick stuff which I will find in any kind of civilized environments. So because it's a tactical approach from my point of view.
Yeah. We have to say though, we do this all legally, so we're not going to break into a farm or so and steal potatoes. But again, the entire idea is to show two different types of approaches here, because if you're watching this, maybe you are more into survival, more into the tactical kind of stuff, then you can learn something from Yannick. If you're more into the kind of modern aboriginal lifestyle, so into all this bushcraft kind of stuff, then you can have a look at me. And by the end of this experiment, we will see who's performing better in this environment. So I hope that you can learn a lot from that.
But it's not a challenge, it's not like a versus.
No.
We're just combined force, a combined operation, something like that.
It's about showing genuine information, you know. Just like as if you would go on a hiking trip and maybe you lose your path, you're just getting off trail, you're trailblazing, and all of a sudden you're in a situation and you just will have to do it with the things you have with you. And yeah, that's basically it. Anything more to say about that?
Let me think about it. So I think we said the most thing, but maybe you can also take a look on my channel, because there will also be a video, but I have to say it will be only on German with automatically subtitles in English. And we want to do a series. That's maybe also interesting.
Also about this series, we're just starting off with very elaborate gear at the moment. So we're really carrying our sleeping bag system and all these kind of things. But throughout the series we're going to downgrade, and we're basically removing stuff from our equipment to show you more severe kind of scenarios, to do a simulation of more severe scenarios. And the goal is to at some point reach a point in which we will only use a knife, like for example this here, right? And just do the thing, right? And again, it's really important for us to show you a genuine approach towards this. We're not going to do any kind of crazy stuff or do any kind of cuts and then just walk by McDonald's or so.
This is real.
Yeah, and you will definitely see us suffer. So if you have a bit of schadenfreude in you, or you're sadist, then please keep on watching. You will enjoy this, because in 2 days we're gonna look like hell. And you know why? Because if you take a look at that terrain, which you will see later on, it's very steep. There's a lot of hills, it goes up and down. We will waste a lot of calories, and I can already guarantee you that from the stuff we will collect and forage, we might be able to obtain about 500 to 800 calories a day.
When everything runs great.
Yeah, if we have an ideal situation. But we will probably also use about 3,000 calories a day. So that's going to be...
Or plus.
Yeah, it's going to be really crazy. Also because it's going to get sunny soon. Now we have 25 degrees Celsius. It's very humid, so we're already sweating a lot.
Yeah.
And by tomorrow it will get close to 30 degrees Celsius with a lot of sunshine. And yeah, just join us in this. I say we just get going, right? Enough of the talk. So basically I carved myself a Bushcraft multi-tool. This is my digging stick. It's made from rowan or mountain ash. And as you can see on the tip, it has this pointy end to undig roots with. And it's really important to give it this spoon-like shape. See this? There needs to be a slope. If you don't do this, you can't really level up the roots. If you would just do like a flat surface like this, it might also break, so this gives extra stability. And if you use rowan, you will have a high quality wood right here because it's really sturdy and it's also relatively flexible. So that's green wood. And right here on the other side, if you can see this, this is a great idea that I've seen from Thomas Rall from Experience Nature. This is basically a root stripper. I can harvest roots with this device and then basically strip them from the outer layer, which you can also see right here. This is also tied up so that it can't break. And yeah, if I need some natural cordage, I just use this and get myself some from spruce roots or from fir. Just a nice little thing to have. Okay folks, so while we were walking downhill, I already found something interesting here. For a moment I thought that this patch of leaves right here could be wild garlic. But if you take a close look, that's lily of the valley. It's a toxic doppelganger of wild garlic. And that's just how it goes, right? You think that you found the jackpot. If you would be hungry right now, you might do the mistake of just harvesting this because you really want to get some calorie intake and just eat something. And then you would poison yourself. So yeah, we leave these where they are and just continue downhill. So Yannick's also already busy. What you doing there?
Yeah, I'm trying to farm some insects. So here's old bark from a tree. So I just keep up, opening this one and search for some insects. I don't know how the English term is for, maden.
Yeah, grubs. In English it's grubs or maggots.
For maggots or grubs, especially in old trees, because they don't have any poison in them, because they're secured inside this bark, so they don't have to defend themselves from any predators.
Yeah.
So this is why they are no problem to eat. But this one here is too old, too dry. Here's nothing in it, so we just have to continue.
Yeah. Okay, folks. So Yannick and I were already discussing whether we should take some water out of this creek, because the well of this creek, the source is right uphill. And there's no agricultural fields or so there's no contamination in this creek. But we've just been hiking for about half an hour, and if we would take a liter or 2 liters out of that creek right now, we would need to carry this. And we just had a bit of water before we left the house. So I say we don't do this, at least for my take I won't, because there will be more creeks up ahead, and I'd rather carry less luggage with me, less gear or less water in this case, up until I really have to drink. So let's see how that turns out. So Yannick just found this fungus on the tree right here, but I don't have any clue what that is. And yeah, if we're not sure, we don't take that stuff.
Yeah, I would say, so I only know the German terms. It's a Schwefelpolling. So, but I'm not sure, like Ralph said, and if we're both not certain about this fungus, we won't take it, just for security, for safety reasons.
So I got my first find right here. Up there's an elder bush. Maybe you can see this if I just adjust the camera. Like so. And these flower cups right here contain a lot of sugar. And they're also pretty tasty. You can make syrup from them and such. And I'll take a couple of these. I also make sure that I leave a couple of them on the bush so that the tree can reproduce. And yeah, that's already a really nice find. Also really sweet and tasty. I like it. Okay folks, so what do I expect from the upcoming days? Well, first and foremost, I think that from the second day onwards, it's going to be a psychology game. Simply for the reason that the calorie intake of a couple of plants, maybe a couple of insects, is not particularly high. As you can see right here, we're also hiking with about 10 to 12 kilos of equipment, especially because we carry our own camera equipment. And as you might picture, we have a lot of calorie consumption. We need to get a lot of energy in order to carry all of this gear. So if, let's say for example, if we eat about 600 calories a day, in an almost ideal situation, maybe even just 300, depending on what we find, this will really go to our bodies, you know, it will really go to the substance of our bodily functions. So I think that by the end of this day, we really have to work a lot with our psychology. Start appreciating the little things and make sure that we are doing great right up here. So Yannick's already going up here. I'm going to join him. I don't know if you can see this nicely on camera, but there's a bit of spruce right behind me, and they have these nice young shoots that are growing out of the twigs. Let me get you close. These light green fresh shoots are really high in vitamin C and also in other nutrients. So it's a really great idea to harvest these too. Also because they are really tender compared to the darker needles that you can see right here. So I'm just gonna take a couple of them. Again, I make sure to leave quite some so that the tree can continue growing. This is really good stuff. So right here we've got a little stream up this rock, and as you can see there's water dripping down here. Unfortunately this is coming from a settlement up there, so I wouldn't drink it, but it's a nice refreshment, so you can basically do like a cat wash and freshen up, especially if it's humid like in this weather condition. It's nice and cold, really awesome. Well folks, so we're taking a break right now. We've been hiking for about 3 hours, I guess.
It's 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, we started at 9 o'clock in the morning, should be around noon. And as you can see, this guy is enjoying his creek water. And I don't have any because so far we didn't find a second creek. And down there's the river Wupper, and that water cannot be used for drinking. For a very simple reason, the Wupper is passing through myriad different cities. And as far as we're in the Ruhrpott, and
very large cities, by the way, sorry.
So we're close to Cologne, and this is basically an industrial area, so this water is contaminated to a level that you don't want to know. And yeah, I have to be patient now. I have to see if we can find some streams uphill there. And it's already getting to my bodily substance because I can feel the thirst and I really got this desire to drink something. So this is when it comes all up to this here, to psychology. I made the wrong decision. As you can see, decisions come with consequences, and that's just the real deal, right? It's not just that you get everything presented on a silver tablet as if you would go to a supermarket.
My decision was just, if you have good water, never go past it, always take it, but yeah.
Buy the ticket, take the ride.
Kann ich dir was zu sagen?
Sag mal was.
So guys, this is a snail, and under special circumstances you could eat it, but there's one big problem. Snails eat dead animals, and so they contain Botox. So I don't know how's the English term for that. Do you
also
know?
Botox, yeah.
It's also Botox. So
it's a toxin.
Yeah, it's a toxin made by by dead animals who just how's the term for that? They
rot basically.
Yeah, they rot. They're falling apart, and these snails eat the corpses, eat the flesh, which contains this Botox. So if you want to eat this snail, you would have to do the following: take it and put it on some herbs, on some weeds for 2 days. The snail will eat and will just do her biological way, and all the Botox will leave the body of the snail.
Yeah, it will basically clean the intestines.
Yes, that's correct. After that you would cook it still, because it's very important for parasites, and then you could eat it. But not take this one now, put it into boiling water and eat it, because buttocks don't get destroyed by heat. That's very important to say. So yeah, I won't take it because we are only 72 hours on our trip.
Yeah.
We don't have the time for this. Yeah.
So no French dinner today, and this little guy is safe.
Yeah,
Lucky you.
We will put him now into from the way, so that nobody steps on him.
Yeah. Lucky guy. Okay, so as you can see, Yannick is foraging on this field right here. And if you give me a moment, right here we do have a little settlement. And Yannick just talked to the lady that owns this property right here, whether he's allowed to forage all these plants that are growing here, because we got some clover there and some cornflowers and all these kind of things. Unfortunately for me, this is taboo, because as I told you before, I'm only foraging what I can find out in the wild, so in natural areas. But I'm just gonna take you close so you can have a look at that yourself. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, guys, this is some clover. So yeah, Ralph told me it's clover. I don't know the English terms of all of the plants because I'm just German. So otherwise we have here forage. So I don't know how the English term is.
I will put it in the subtitles, no problem.
Yeah, okay. So I call it forage. So it's a plant where you can eat. Yeah, here these blossoms. You can just pick them while picking here the tip, and then you can just move them smooth away. And yeah, just can eat them directly. They have a little bit of sugar in it, so I already picked all of them. So yeah, this is what I will now pick, because yeah, it's a tactical thing. I don't care if this is a garden. I just take whatever I can get, and it's not really a garden; it's an abandoned field. So the garden starts over there. So just take everything what I can get.
So Yannick is digging now because he found some wild garlic. So I gave him my digging stick so he can undig the roots or the tubes of the plant. I'll just get you closer and then you can have a look at that. Okay, so I'm really happy that we found this tiny stream right here because I'm so thirsty. Like, I haven't drank any water since, yeah, 5 hours, I guess.
5 hours, yeah.
I don't know, like, I'm really thirsty. I got this kind of gooey saliva already, you know, when it gets foamy and everything. And if you take a look right here, there's a lot of tiny little critters and tiny little creatures in that water. So tiny crustaceans, also what we call water fleas. I don't know if we also call them like this in English. But there's a lot of life in this water, and also because of the sediment up there, we can be assured that this is rather clean water compared to all the creeks. And I'm just going to fill up my soya bag right now. I got 2 of them, by the way. One for dirty water and another one for clean water. It's always important to carry 2 of those bladders. But yeah, let's fill it up. Man, what a good find. It's so nice and cold. As you can see, I'm pretty sweaty and so is Yannick, because let me show you something. We've been coming all the way from behind that ridge and it was just going up and down. There's a lot of inclination and declination right here, a lot of valleys as you can see. And yeah, it looks so easy. You're passing through those settlements and you might think to yourself like, yeah, you know, if this is a real survival situation, just ask people for help. True. But we're trying to simulate a genuine situation here in which we're not allowed to use anything from civilization, at least in my case. And yeah, this is why we look like this. I'm really happy that we found the water. That really makes a difference. It keeps the spirit high, the energy level also, and it motivates you psychologically. And now we're going to have a look at all these plants over there, because I already spotted sticky fingers and also garlic mustard, and let's see if we can use some of that. Okay, so right here is sticky fingers. Really awesome plant, usually tastes like cucumber or almost a little bit like pickles. Let's just try some of that. It's incredibly bitter because it's usually one of those herbs that you would find in early spring already. And it's not sweet and sappy anymore, it just tastes like tannins, really bitter. Not a pleasure, and now we also can't eat that much because it will just upset your stomach. Too bad. You won't believe it, folks. For a moment I thought that I lost my digging stick on the way. And then after we walked back we realized that Yannick just left it at the digging spot. He assumed that I took it and I didn't. Yeah, and this is how it goes, you know. It can happen really quickly that you lose one of your tools. Luckily for me this can be replaced, but if it would be something that you're carrying in your backpack, well, good luck improvising then. Alright folks, so we decided to camp in this area around here because as you can see there is a ton of firewood just right down there. It's all kind of driftwood or from some storm damage. And if you take a look at this area, this goes uphill, so we're covered from the wind from this side, and we got quite some trees down that side that will also take out a bit of the wind, if you can see this. And then it's going to be nice and cozy and we can cook some roots, eat some of the plants we gathered. I'm really confident that this is going to work out nicely. Well folks, so we took this spot right here because it was already relatively plain. We just straightened this out so we can have a bivouac here and there. That's my side, that's Yannick's side. And we're also just gonna put up tarps right up here and there. And that's basically it, so we can save energy. Then we also just take that energy to go out and forage a little more, have dinner, and call it a day for day number 1. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's not plain enough. I'm a bit like this. And
Yeah.
I have here, it's too high on this side.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit too flat on this side. So I'm basically lying like this here. So,
Yeah.
it's very important, I guess, to I think that you always make sure you test your sleeping place. Otherwise, yeah, you just sleep like that all the night and have a very bad sleep.
Yeah.
And so always test your position. And if you think, nah, yeah, put the time in and fix it, because yeah, how you make your camp is how you sleep.
Absolutely, and we all know that if we don't eat, sleep is the most important source of energy.
That's correct, so I will now fix it.
Feels good. Ah. And now Yannick does the rest of the work. I like bushcraft. You're doing well.
No way, bro.
No way what?
This is my isolation mud, not yours.
Mine is the other one, but he's also gonna take care of this. Now he has some practice.
Get up and do your job.
Yes, Mom. So let me quickly show you something. I prepared something in advance. Those are a couple of loops, and I will use these for a prusik knot, and that makes life a lot easier, because as you can hear, it's starting to rain, it's getting windy. It's just a short shower, but we don't know if we may expect rain tonight, so we just have to get going and get the camp up. Well folks, so we built the camp. It's all done, and I will give you a tour in a second, because as you can see, this is just way too comfortable, and I can also really feel the energy level going down.
It starts to rain again, Ralph?
Yep, it's also starting to rain again, so we're lucky about that, because now we're nicely covered. But back to the energy level. I don't know if you folks are watching Les Trout's Survivorman, and he's absolutely right. You need to take out the tempo, and you need to rest if you do a lot of building and such, because once I will have shown you all of the camp here, you will think to yourself like, okay, that's not a lot of work, but giving the low energy level and the fact that we just ate a couple of herbs and a couple of flowers and not even the roots that we collected, everything's so exhausting. Like, I could fall asleep right away, just like so. And I think Yannick agrees, right?
I'm really exhausted, really. And
yeah.
I haven't drank anything since we started building the camp, because I was in such a rush. It's raining and we have to get finished, and like you said, it was stupid. We had I should have taken a break, drink a bit, and I will do so now, right away.
Yeah, and there you see it, because if you watch YouTube videos, you know, a lot of people are out there and they're just like, 24-hour survival, and then they build these lean-to shelters from pine trees or from spruces, right? And they do all these kind of things, and it gives the impression that you can do a lot of things just without any food, any water and such, and it's just a lie. Simply because, as you can see, you know, if we would take the break, we could just build everything in intervals. We also still have to build a fire, and we're really depleted at this moment. I can't stress this enough. And yeah, what am I supposed to say? I mean, this is the reality. This is just the first evening, and we didn't even hit sundown. So now we're sitting here, you know, we're exhausted from all the uphill, downhill hiking and such. And tomorrow's going to be no better, not to speak of the third day. I'm curious how the second night will work out, but hey, I'm going to take a break right now for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll first give you a tour of the camp, right? So that's the setup. Just going to walk you around. Gotta mind my step here. This is also interesting, by the way, because the capuchon, how do you call it, like the hoodie, has these tightening ropes here. I don't know how to call them, but just like those belts to fasten the hoodie. I basically used this and took one of those spruce roots that I just dug out from underneath the bivouac here, and I basically made a loop here and tied it up right here. So you can use natural cordage if you want to, as you can see, just to get a little bit more space underneath there. That's the view from the other side. Also, as you can see right here, everything's mounted on top of the ridgeline, so you can access all the backs and such. Makes your life a lot more easy. And just for the knots, if you can see this right here, this should be an event hitch if I remember that correctly. So if you pull on this tiny little piece of rope here and also on that one, those just come loose automatically. And the same thing on the other side, because if we have to get all of the stuff down, it's just easier to just pull like this and get it down. Okay, let's finish the 360 here. Whoa, see, gotta mind my step, already sliding down. So that's Yannick's setup, also pretty nice. Really love the Basha, I have to say.
We want to show you something. If you take a look at my triceps,
yep.
It's totally rested. I'm not under pressure, but you see it's bumping a few times.
It's doing twitches.
Yeah.
Right here, do you see this?
So it's totally rested. It's just the low level of nutritions that are currently in my body, only because we marched a lot and built a lot. I did a lot of work and haven't eat anything of value for my body. So the nutritions are on such a low level, my muscles are like, okay, there's something, and they are contract.
That's like a cramp, like a spasm. So as I'm walking downhill right now to maybe find some more edibles, I just want to play a little game with you. Can you spot the camp? I'll give you 5 seconds. Right there. That looks like the King's Torch. This is also interesting. On the trail there's a lot of these plants which kind of like look like the King's Torch. The King's Torch would be edible, but you can't not be sure if this actually is the King's Torch because it doesn't have any flowers yet. And see what I spotted. If I just go down here, right here, I can see that it is not, because if you take a look at those purple flowers, that's digitalis, and digitalis is highly toxic. So you might mistake these plants over here for edible ones, when in fact it's most likely that they are this toxic one right here. So be wary of that, be aware. I mean, if you take a look around these trails here, there's nothing, only a couple of garlic mustard plants, and I'll just give it a try. I'll try to dig up a couple of roots, and after that I'm gonna call it quits. So what you do is you loosen up the ground and you dig around this with your digging stick, and as you can see it already falls down, because here's the root. It's barely anything, just have a look for yourself. Here goes nothing. Just have a look how small these roots are. Just a tiny little bit. But if I undig all of those right here, I might still get some extra nutrients. That one looks alright. Okay, we might still get lucky. Here's a dandelion root. And right over here, there's more garlic mustard with a lot of these seed pods. So I'm going to harvest whatever I can and then go back. And I got lucky. There's burdock right here. First year, I'm gonna undig that now. Wouldn't you look at that? What a nice find. So that's it. The roots and a bit of creeping Charlie just for the taste. So I'm back at the camp, and right down there's Yannick looking for grubs so he get a little more protein. And look at this, he found an old, how do you call it, like an old lamp, and we can use this for the hobo stove to cook in, just to make sure that nothing's gonna smolder or burn. Really awesome. Okay folks, I just got my hobo stove started here, and now I'm cleaning up the roots that I just collected, just like so. I don't know if you can see this nicely in front of the fire, but I'll basically just use the back hand side of the knife to scratch off all the dirt and the skin, the outer layer. Yannick already had quite some trouble when he was cutting up his roots of the comfrey, because there were tiny worms inside and they just ate through the root and left a lot of worm feces, a lot of droppings in there. So he had to cut off quite some parts. So now he's facing only 50% edibles compared to earlier. That's just how it goes, right? We all hope that we'll get at least something out of that. But I'll get back to you in a second once I cleaned up all of the roots here. What I'm doing is I'm cutting small pieces of the roots, as you can see right down here. For a very simple reason. We need to cook them thoroughly because they get really chewy. You can see this right here. If I pull that off, see that it's just like rubber. So if we don't boil them properly, we'll have to chew through all of that woody, fibery stuff, and we don't want that. So let's just get that nicely done, and of course make sure that we don't cause a fire here. We got the two hobos going right now, and right here you can see the entire harvest of the creeping Charlie, and also the dandelion roots and the garlic mustard roots, and also the burdock. It's not a lot, but we just make a brew out of that and share that. And I also need to finish my spoon. I actually wanted to make a spork and just carve a fork right here. But yeah, I will just leave that for today and just coal burn the spoon right here so I can eat. And yeah, we also made a decision to not use the elderberry flowers, the elderbush flowers, simply due to the reason that tomorrow we need some sugar if we wake up. And now I'm going to prepare the comfrey. Guys, have a look at the sun. That's what we see right behind the ridge that's basically in front of our camp. It looks awesome. So guys, you can hear the fox. Fox is going loco. And if you take a look right here, that's basically the stew, if you can call it so. And Yannick was nice enough to borrow me one of his spoons. After all, couldn't get the wooden one going today. But now it's all about priorities. I just want to eat. And I guess Yannick also wants to eat.
Exactly.
Yeah, Fox also wants to eat, it seems.
Here guys, this is wild garlic. Is it called like that?
Yep.
Yeah, wild garlic, and I can't wait to taste this one. It will be just the best in all that stew here. So yeah, I'm not concerned how long I have to cook. How's it called in English?
The wild garlic, or what do you mean?
Beinvel.
Beinvel, or the comfrey.
The comfrey. I think it's still a bit hard. I will taste a bit now to just to prove. Actually, it's eatable now. It should all be finished. I think we could eat now.
It's already getting dark. Now we got the first dish ready. Let's just see what we got right here. There's a bit of clover and a couple of spruce twigs or spruce needles, very fresh ones. There's also the comfrey and the best of the best right here. That's wild garlic. I don't know if you can see this. It's not gonna get sharp, but anyway, let's just give that a try. Wow, really good. Really good. So the wild garlic gives the typical wild garlic type of note to it. It's really spicy, almost peppery. Definitely with a note of garlic. And the comfrey just tastes like some weird sort of a carrot. The texture is like a very slow cooked carrot, basically, if you just boil it for like 5 minutes or so, and it still has a bite to it, a bit of crunch. But it also has the taste of radishes, in my opinion. It has a little biting taste, almost like yeah. Now I wouldn't say like pastinac, but something of that sort. And then there's also the clover, which is really sweet, but a horrible contrast to the bitter taste of from the spruce needles, because they have this kind of like orange like taste, but then with a bitter note to it. So that's kind of like, I don't know, weird. But it's still good. It really gives you some energy. Awesome. After a day like this, that's heaven. But let me show you a close-up of the food. And right here's the second dish, the dandelion roots and the burdock mixed with the creeping Charlie. And yeah, I'll let Yannick have the first taste. Let's see how he finds that.
So let's taste this. First of all, I will just taste the Gundermann, how it's called?
The creeping Charlie?
Creeping Charlie. It's okay.
Like spinach, huh? Bitter spinach. Somewhat.
That's pretty a better name for it, but not really. It's okay. Not much of taste. A bit of just the plant itself. I know it from teas. I drink of it, but it's like much less of its own taste is still left there. A lot of is cooked out, I guess, in the water here in the suit. Still difficult to chew. Okay, we just bring it down. So this is dandelion?
Yeah.
Okay. Really smooth.
So it's well cooked.
Yeah, and in my experience, this was always very bitter, incredibly bitter. But I harvested it late in the summer, I guess, on my last tour.
Yeah, those were young plants, so I think they're kind of alright.
There was just only very small roots here. They're really great. Just very little taste of bitterness, so you can really eat them. I'm surprised by that, because I thought, okay, well, what Ralph cooked here will be bitter as fuck. So, but it's really okay. Consistence, very soft. You can chew them quite good. But it's when you chew them, you feel like something is going up your nose.
Yeah.
It's freeing your nose. It's
like essential oils, like mint, for example.
Yeah. Like this one. Yeah, I'm very interested to how Ralph will find this.
All right, let's give it a go. Let's just take a good portion right here. So that's the Gripping Charlie. Tastes like green. Well, but that's what it is. It just tastes green. Not really like spinach, and it's also really chewy indeed. Not particularly pleasant, to be honest.
It loses a lot of its characteristical taste.
Yeah.
So
it's mainly bitter.
Yeah, it's maybe in the water. If you taste it, you can tell me maybe it's like a tea now.
Let's just first work that down. A lot of chewing. And then here comes the dandelion. Oh yeah, the dandelion is really soft. It's not chewy at all. It is a bit bitter though. Also with a little biting sensation indeed in the nose. As if you would eat some kind of like, well, not really like mint, it's not fresh, it's just like stinging in the nose. But it's alright. There's a bit of burdock. The burdock is actually pretty delicious. It's really soft. And it's not really radish-like, but it reminds me a bit of rucola. You know, like the salad, the bitterness of that salad. So that's fine. But I have to say that I probably skip on the Gripping Charlie because it's just, like, it's not really good. I think I'd rather make a tea out of that again. Just boil it up with a bit of water and just drink that. Because otherwise you just keep on chewing and yeah, I don't know. Gotta be honest here, right? It's not particularly delicious. Alright guys, so we finished eating. It's getting really dark right now and we're about to hit the bunks. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel because tomorrow we're gonna shoot more footage and we will put this in a second video. And yeah, up until then, I just want to say good night. Thanks for watching so far. And yeah, stick around so we can see what's gonna happen tomorrow. Not to speak of the day after that, because we still got 48 hours to go. Take care. If you want to support my channel, please consider becoming a Patreon. You can visit my Patreon page on www.patreon.com/Rathwulven. A link to my Patreon page will also be posted in the information box below. Thank you in advance.